Yeah. Okay.
Do you want short explanation, long explanation?
I think
or differences with
the differences.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. It could be easy. So sorry for the broken English.
No, your English is perfect.
No, thank you. You're too kind.
Okay.
So, I go? Should I go?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the new version of Serenissima, and I will concentrate on the main differences with the old one, because the game was released maybe in 1985 or something like this. And of course we wanted to remake a few things and to correct a few, I won't say broken rules, but 80s rules which are maybe not so modern now.
Modernize it.
Yeah, exactly. So the main idea came, of course, from the author, which is a friend of mine, and he said, okay, we don't want to have phases anymore, because it was, I don't know if you remember, but it was baiting for turn order, and then phases, building phase, movement phase, combat phase, and he wanted something more dynamic. So we added this, which could be similar to a rondel, like in Imperial or Antica, but it's kind of different. Okay, it's a circle, but that's all. Yeah. So on this rondel, you've got these small elements which cover the ships which are not in play, because all the ships now will have a number.
Okay.
Sorry, this is a prototype.
That's fine.
So if 4 is there, 4 will be covered. But if 4 is in play, 4 will be revealed. And we've got a pawn, not this one, but we've got a pawn, turning and calling each active Galleria. So let's say it's time for Galleria 4. Of course, 1 will be activated before. And then the owner of Galleria 4, which is red actually, has 2 options. First option, he may move like he did in the old version, basically. So he can, for example, buy some pink here. I won't explain the price, it's just, you will see. Then he can move, as in the old version, he's got 3 sailors, so he can make 1, 2, 3 squares. Okay? And then he can sell, or he can fight. Selling is like this. I sell this one for 2 coins. I cannot sell pink because he produces pink, so he's not interested. Fighting is simple too. Yeah, this fight is quite simple. You say, okay, this is to nobody. No, it's mine. It's quite simple. Of course, fights between players are a bit more interactive. And so, for example, let's say I'm there and I want to attack this ship. So I enter. I'm there. I want to attack this ship. I enter. There will be a combat. We've got to determine the combat strength. So for green, it will be 2, because he's got 2 sailors. For red, it won't be 3. Yeah, we could have think about 3, but that's another change we introduced.
Okay.
And we introduced it for several reasons, to balance the game and also for thematical reasons. I explain why. So when this ship enters, we determine its strength and its number of sailors minus a number of space crossed. So as those guys were both fighters and sailors, we estimate they are exhausted when they row.
Okay.
So 1 space, so only 2 for a combat strength. But that's better than this anyway, because he's got a reserve. So maybe it will stay at 2 for a longer time.
Sure.
And the reason for this is the thematical role, but also to prevent one thing which was existing in the old Serenissima version, is a Galleria with 5 guys was really strong, because he could cross maybe the whole Mediterranean, and then it was the ultimate death machine, you know. No, you've got more control areas. Maybe you've got a Galleria with 5 guys. When it's here, you know it's maybe threatening there, but not so much here, which is important for controlling the game. Okay, so you move, you buy some goods, you move, you sell, or you fight, and that's it. Or instead of doing this, you may say, okay, I don't move, I will invest for my empire. And investing for your empire is buying things. You may buy new sailors for 1, new galerias, and then of course you choose the number. You may build forts, which are special forces. You may build basilicas. You may build several things, in fact. And this phase is really important because on the end of the game, there's no more victory points. The only important thing is money. The richest wins. So if you invest too much, maybe we had this kind of struggle in the game. You know, you're always hesitating. Should I buy many sellers to defend my cities? But it's my victory points. You know, so I should hesitate. So yeah, we activate all active ships, usually up to 10, I'll say. And then we draw a special card, which is there. And it will advance the time track.
Okay.
For 4 players, we will begin there. So here is 1. There's only 5 cards, 2 with 1, 2 with 2, and 1 with 0, and a special event.
Okay.
And this is a novelty too, because now you cannot predict exactly when the end will happen. In the old version of Serenissima, the number of turns was fixed, and it could cause some problems because the last turn was really worry. I mean, a lot of war because you had nothing to lose.
Right.
Now you can estimate because you know there are only 5 cards, so you can remember what happened.
Right.
But you cannot be. Sometimes you will be, but you cannot be totally sure that the game is over. And if you launch all your forces and the game is not over, then you're in big trouble. So we wanted to add this kind of decision in the game too. And so sometimes there will be a scoring, and then you will check your cities, how much they filled, and it will earn you some coins. And basilicas will earn you more coins. And when it's there, the game is finished. 1 more scoring, and the richest wins. Okay. So few changes, as you see. This changed totally the dynamic of the game. Combats are no more controlled, but still balanced. And of course, the end is unpredictable. This is really interesting. I will explain why, of course, but it's obvious for gamers. But when you choose your Galleria, you may choose, for example, 1, and it will give you a lot of initiative because you will be the first in the turn to play. But you may also prefer 15 because you will check what's going on before moving. And sometimes you will buy things like 7, 8, 9, and this way you will play 3 times in a row, and then you may make good combinations, even moving one Galleria, giving my sailors to another Galleria, and so on. You can do really nice things, and this system is brand new, I think. It looks like the Rondel, but it's not the Rondel, it's totally different. Right. And that's it. I'd say it's a game which is good for gamers, of course, because gamers tend to play it well, making good sales combinations, making nice movements, defending well, attacking well. But it works really well, and we were a bit surprised with more casual gamers too, because it's fun to play. You know, it's the same kind of fun than Small World. I mean. Sometimes it's okay, I'm attacking you, but why me? No, just because I don't like you, so I will attack you. And it works this way with casual gamers. So our hope is that probably it will be bought by gamers, but it can be brought to the table to play it with less experienced gamers. And we are pretty happy. So the look will be mainly like this. We wanted to keep this old map feel. Also for the game it's better because there will be a lot of colors on the map with all goods, all players, which is different because before all sailors were blue and there was a flag.
Right.
But it was annoying a bit because you needed 1 hour to stick all the flags and everything. So no flags anymore, I'm sorry. But instead you will check better the strategy. Also, we made these new Gallerias which are easier to handle and more stable. And the old one, they tended to spread over the board, and it was a problem. So that's it. That's our big novelty for. I hope it will be available in the United States for Origins.
Okay.
At least a few boxes. Asmodee US will do it in the United States, mainly because it's, as you may know, it's an Eurogames license. So it was and Asmodee about Jeux des Cartes a few years ago, so they still have at least still have the priority for all. But they were kind enough to let me do what I want with this game. So.
Are you going to change the spelling of the title to add a
no.
YS?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we thought about it, and it's a problem, because it's a big break, a major break in the rules. We cannot release it as an Ystari Plus because we do it by ourselves.
Okay.
We don't want it to release an Ystari Vintage because we made too much change, but the original title is Serenissima, so it will stay this way.
Fair enough.
And now I can speak to you about the novelties for Essen. I don't have anything to show, but
that's
quick.
Change the camera from here. Okay.
Hi again. So novelties for Essen. Our plan until now is to release 2 games in Essen. First game will be a game by William Attia, so the author of Kelus. He presented us a really nice game recently. It's a worker placement game. Of course. No, he makes really different game, but this time it's a worker placement game with really clever mechanics. Victorian era, mining Victorian era, so it's kind of short in a small box like Kelus Magna Carta was, and it's about you need to place your workers carefully, and there's 2 phases in the game, but different for each player. At some point you place, at some point you remove, and you've got to decide by yourself when it's a good time to stop and to remove. And with this you produce buildings, and then you use the worker you didn't use on the board to make the... It's really clever. Fast game, maybe 1 hour. I mean, and it's you will. I cannot show it, unfortunately. We were still working with the graphics and finishing the tuning, but really nice game. And the other one is bigger.
What's that one called? The William Attia game?
I cannot tell.
Okay, got enough.
Probably with a Y and an S, but until now, William is funny with naming the game, and so this one is called Zops, Z-O-P-S, but that's a working title.
Sure.
And he's got mystery code for naming the game. I mean, Kelus, the working title was ARPR.
Okay.
Because of Amunre, Puerto Rico, and nobody knows exactly why, because I don't see any. Yeah, but you know. The second one is bigger games, regular box for us. And it's a game I discovered totally by random. I was lucky. In fact, I was skiing and in a gaming event, and there was no snow at all. And a guy approached me and he told me, "Yeah, I want to have your advice on this game, not to sell it to you, but." And so I told him, "Okay, there's no snow, let's play." We played, and in the end he asked me, "What is your advice on my game?" I said, "My advice is I take it." So it's a resource management game, which is, if I had to compare it with something, I will compare it to Antiquity, the game by Splotter Spelen, but of course not so complicated.
Sure.
In this game you will have to manage a colony of ants. And I must say the theme is quite strong in this game because everything is based on real life ants. So you've got your similarities, of course it's not Antiquity, but similarities, you've got your personal board where you develop your own colony, and then there is a main board where everyone competes for space. And mainly they compete with pheromones. Like real ants, they send scouts, and scouts put pheromones for other ants of the colony. And when you put pheromones, you may choose the size with hexagons. You may choose the size of your pheromone, and then you put resources on it, and then you will gather them. So you see the similarity with and it's a really great game because there's a lot of struggle. You know, you've got to gather things for winter, and there are special events which are really controllable, and you've got to choose: will I dig deeper for my colony and so have new possibilities? But also I need more warriors to collect more insects on the main board. So it's a perpetual choice, a really interesting choice in maybe 1 hour and a half. So it's really short, but really thematical. So we expect a lot from this game. we just need to find how to treat it graphically, because it's difficult to find the right design for ants. You know, ants are not so sexy.
Yeah.
But in another way, we don't want to have a manga look for them, because it's not a child game. You know, it's a gamer's game, a true, real gamer's game. So these are our 2 releases for Essen. Hope we will be ready. We're not totally sure. And I hope the people will like it. So we'll see in Essen. And maybe at some point we're working also on releasing Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective in the United States. It's not totally depending on me, but we released it in France 1 month ago, and it's a huge success. So now we're toying with the possibility to have it in Barnes and Noble shops maybe, but it doesn't depend on me, and it's a huge work because there's a lot of things to translate, because we made many changes in the original games, but I hope we will be able to do it. And maybe also at some point a new expansion of Olympus maybe. I must say that Philip Kayertz is working on it, and also I was surprised because Rudiger Dorn, the author of Goa, is a real fan of the game, and he sent me an expansion he made on his own. So I need to test it, but Rudiger is a good friend and he's really in love with the game. So he said, "Okay, I've made this. You should test it." So something which is related to C3.